Good afternoon, everyone. Here we are for another roll reveal. This one is number 555. 555. Can't believe we've done well over 500 reveals to date. I found the images for some of the original first ones way back in the day and realized that one of the first reveals that we did was a 1946 D half roll to 25-cent roll. That was fun back in the day. How's everybody doing today? We've got Coin Junkie Frostbite, Eric, Calipigian J, Tyler Lane, Eric. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, there's Cap Morgan Dollar as well. So let's go ahead and get started on this roll. This is a 1941 Philadelphia roll. It is a nice BU roll. I've had a chance to take a couple of coins out when I was showing the roll to you guys during the last reveal show, which, by the way, we will be having again this evening at 7 p.m., a reveal show. After this reveal, I'm going to mark up my list of what we will have available. Let's see. Okay. All right, let me go ahead and get started now with coin number 1. Jordan. Let's see what Jordan gets. Pull this into fine focus. What do I have going on incorrectly here? Something's not working right. My frame rate is too low. Let's see here. Maybe that will help it. Okay, let me go ahead and get focused in here. And get my brightness turned down just a little bit. And here we go. 1941. Well, one of the big things we'd be looking for is a bunch of broken T doubling on the last T of trust. Well, there's a number of different dies that show something small in the area of trust, so we'll just have to keep watching. There could be doubled eyelids, of course. There could be bar L's. Bar L's would be a bottom of an L just below the primary bottom of the L. There could be doubling in the date. Number of nice 1941 double dies also available out there. Just got to find the right roll for them. Well, it's a very nice coin, very nice beginning to the roll, but it doesn't happen to be any doubling on this coin. So that one will go to Jordan. Get this out of the way here. Okay, now coin number 2. Taco John. Taco John gets coin number 2, and here is coin number 2. And it's got a little bit of a smudge on it. Still looking for all the different little things that I just mentioned on every coin until we get used to the roll and know exactly what we're looking at. At which point, once we know exactly what we're looking at, we can start using subjugation thoughts and other things to assume what's here and what isn't. There's a nice die gouge below the L. That dot down there along the rim is a good marker. Alright, let's check the reverse now. And in checking the reverse, I see nothing at all. Nothing here. Well, that is quite interesting. We have a tooled raised area below the T of cent. See if I can match that idea up to anything else, and I cannot. I was kind of thinking that could possibly be a top of a T for some reason, but it does not appear to match up at all. Nor does it have any other evidence of any other kind of doubling anywhere on the reverse, which tells me pareidolia at best. Roger Borland, coin number 3 now. And coin number 3. Hello, Mickey. Good afternoon, good sir. Well, coin number 3 doesn't appear to have anything on the obverse. Though I do keep looking. Let's see. Went to my very first license plate collector's meet this past weekend. It was interesting. The level of severity of social disorganization as far as the individuals are concerned was on a different level higher than coin collectors. This one's from Malcolm. A lot of times you'll see coin collectors around that don't really have a whole lot of social skill. The license plate people, there were more of them, and it was more severe. And people that wouldn't look you in the face while they're talking to you, or people who will drop your subject and open theirs very quickly. But it was a very interesting time. They don't call them shows or conventions. They call them, well, they do have one convention. The convention is once a year. And it's a major nationwide event. But the typical state, city, or regional events they have during the year are called meets. They have a license plate meet. And I went to the license plate meet in Mount Airy, Maryland, this past weekend. Had a good time digging around looking for my regular 1968 birth year license plates. I found a couple. Found a few, actually. I somehow was self-convinced that I need to add in the provinces of Canada on that. So now I'm doing the 50 states, DC, and the provinces of Canada. Did find a couple of really good ones. Well, one of the things I found was a notebook containing the a number of the old collectible license plate cards. And there were some from 1937 in there, from 1938, 1950, and a few from 1953 and then 1961. And they didn't make them every year, so that's about what you can find. One of the things that was in there that was very highly interesting to me, anyway, was a wrapper, an original wrapper from the 1950 set. Original wrapper from the 1950 set. A wax paper wrapper, roughly 6 inches by 6 inches thereabouts, that was folded to contain the cards, much like a baseball card wrapper from back in the day where they were called wax packs. And this wrapper is one of many sold back in 1950 with license plate cards in them, but I would challenge to see any more than about 10 of them in existence today. They are understandably quite rare because most of them were tossed in the garbage as soon as the cards came out of them. And this is a really nice, original, wrinkled, not flattened, not ironed, not messed with, original wrapper the cards came out of in 1950. Also picked up in that same notebook a number of cards that turned out bringing my 100 card set down to 12 needed to finish the set. So I only need a dozen cards now. Sureg is up next. But as for my 1968 license plate set, I was able to pick up British Columbia, Ontario, and Quebec. These were actual plates used on cars in 1968. I also picked up a Minnesota plate. Minnesota is a rather attractive looking plate, and this one is pristine, like it has never been issued. It could have been new old stock, I don't know. And you would have to know it as soon as I come online to do one of these. A thunderstorm rolls into the area, so it seems like we have a thunderstorm about to hit us. There's one for Doug, and there's a lot of lightning. I can hear the thunder. So, yay. Yay to that, right? I'm just looking to see what I see. I'm not looking for anything absolute specific. I'm not, when I turn things around and look again, I'm just making sure that I'm not missing anything. And I'm not on this one. But I had a good time. It makes me feel more impressed at the normalcy of coin shows and coin conventions, because there were a number of rather strange people at this meet. I don't think it was because it was in Maryland either, as I'm sure a number of the people there came from Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Virginia. I know there were a few there from Maryland. And wouldn't you have it, the display, or the educational display, so they do exhibits there like they do at coin shows. And the display that won first place for the non-specific license plate exhibit was a set of 1953 Wheaties license plates. As you guys are aware, I do collect and study. And I spoke with the person who put the set together, and who put the display together. And I was able to inform him that I so far have found 107 different license plates out of a 49 plate set, because most of them have 2 to 3 different varieties. He did not know that, and had these firmly mounted to the board, which means he couldn't easily lift them and check them to my quasi-memorized list. I did buy a box of the plates from someone while I was there, so I ended up with more of those plates. But that encouraged me, and the idea of doing a display of all of the variants of the 1953 state set, which, as far as anyone is concerned or knows, I own an entire variant set because I'm the one discovering the variants. Nobody else knows which variants are out there. So I would love to hear more about which variants are out there, if anybody knew. But it seems that I'm the only one who's ever really studied it, which is just amazing to me. How you can have varieties in something like Lincoln Cents, and no one has ever bothered to look at them or figure out what they are, why they're out there, or anything else. I just think that's kind of amazing. And so I am in the business of educating, and I am in the business of educating about 1953 license plates now, I suppose. 1953 Wheaties license plates. This is machine doubling here. This is not a double die. You can see me doing a seminar on them. Nice die crack there. Ooh, this little storm's getting closer. It's starting to sound kind of ugly. Trying to figure out now if this is a double die or if it is machine doubling. It appears as though this could be a double die. We'll have to yank it out of here, and because it looks like it's just on the lower part of the stem there. Check the other side here, see what I can see. Okay, I don't see anything on the other stem. This could be a part of the machine doubling you see up top, but what I'm looking at is really difficult to determine the difference between double die and machine doubling, but it's on the outside of the lower part of the stem here. Wait a minute, let me zoom in right there. I'll get my proof one way or the other, I believe. Yeah. There's my proof. It is machine doubling. Because you look right here, here, and here, and these are cuts created by the strike. You can actually see how it shoved part of the metal to the side and mounted it up right here. So those are all related to this, and that is definitely machine doubling. So there we go. No need to worry ourselves about looking for more of these, because that is machine doubling right there. Huh. Are we also not quite staying alive online? I haven't noticed it up until now. This is T-Reps here. Faintly heard the thunder. Well, that's because I've got the windows down. But if I had the windows pulled up, you'd hear it pretty clearly. So this one's going to Sissy. Let's see if we can get done with this one before the storm hits. I may have to take a small break between, because I don't want to lose stream right in the middle of a show. Okay, got nothing on that one on the obverse, it seems, for Sissy. Hello, Taco John. The stream is smooth, but the chat went out for a bit. Well, that proves right there that it wasn't me. I can't make that happen. All right, Sissy's coin's got nothing on it here. We're up to number 14. Number 14 now for Frostbite. Hello, Matthew. Well, you're in luck, Matthew. Someone can send you little... we need to do a chat bot for this. We need to get a chat bot so people can type something in like registration and it will automatically show. But to register with Copper Coins, all you have to do is send me an email. That email can go to coppercoinspayments@gmail.com. coppercoinspayments@gmail.com. And you can register with me. As soon as you get registered, all I need is, actually to register, all I need is your name, your YouTube name, and your email address. And then be ready to give me your postal address if you win anything, because my invoicing system does not use PayPal, but it will allow you to pay using PayPal or a credit card or debit card. But what we do is, the show's going to be this evening, where I will do sales of the rolls for next week. And what we do is, the name slips that you see, like Kimberly right here, is a person who got in on one of the 50 coins in this roll and paid for the invoice that was sent thereafter. and they bought the coin prior to the roll being opened. So I have no idea what you're going to get before I open the roll, nor do you have any idea what you're going to get before I open the roll. And you pay for your spot, you get your spot. Your spot goes in randomly behind one of these numbered cards, and we pull each card in order and pull out the coin that goes with that card. Look at it, study it, see if there's anything on there that we need to discuss further. And then we put it inside the card, inside the flip, and the coin goes to you. You own the coin. This isn't anything about hunting rolls and only giving you stuff if we find goodies. That's not the deal here. You get every coin you've purchased. And there are only 50 coins in a roll, and the demand is high. So you should know before you get into the show and actually start doing your bidding on these that you're going to be fighting against a number of people to get into a roll. So you have to be kind of quick. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. You've sent an email? Okay. I will respond to that email as soon as I get done with my other shows today. I've got 2 shows, and we've got thunder in the area, so I'm going to have to use my time very wisely as I can. But we will try to get you into the reveal show. The reveal show is at 7 p.m. today. That's Eastern time, 7 p.m. Eastern today. If you live up on the left coast, that'd be 4 in the afternoon. And we'll get to the spots then, and you'll see how the show works. You'll have your opportunity to get involved. And if you do happen to get involved, it will be a roll that will be opened within the next week. If we find goodies in the roll that we're going through, and that goodie happens to be on a coin, that the flip that has your name on it, and we choose that coin to be photographed for coppercoins.com as an example of what the die looks like, then you would get credit for that coin on the website, and your coin will come with a signed flip insert by Eric, our main attributor for adding information to the website. And that can be placed into a holder by NX with the die number annotated, and the fact that it is a plate coin kind of makes it a little important, because that would be the very coin that everyone is going to use in looking at photographs of that particular die. Right now, it looks like we're not really getting a whole lot out of this roll. This could have been a big major roll, but unfortunately it does not seem as such. But the show comes on every Monday at 7 p.m. And then these shows where I actually open the roll and go through it are scheduled throughout the week when we have time to do it. Eric has reveals of his own, and I have reveals of my own. And when we do our reveals, we are very individual from one another, yet we use the same channel to broadcast. So all of them are broadcast on this channel. But we do Eric's rolls and my rolls during the reveal show. Eric charges for his, I charge for mine. When I finish my rolls, I put them in a box and ship them to Eric. Eric does the job of making sure that all of them are properly sorted, all of the die varieties are identified, and he mails the packages off to the owners of the coins. So, that being known, it's about a week to 2 week process after you purchase your roll before you will receive your coins. It's at least 2 weeks generally, because they have to go through the procedure in Florida, and I am in North Carolina, so I have to put them all together and mail them to him. They're not sold during the live auctions. They are sold outside. That came from, I was looking outside and there's a tree like halfway bent over to the ground outside in wind, so it's not pretty outside right now. But the live auctions are on Tuesdays. This show is on Monday, today. Now, once you register with our website, with Copper Coins, you are registered for all events that Copper Coins does on YouTube. We also do shows on whatnot.com, or the Whatnot app. You would have to register with them to participate in those shows, because I cannot control registration. I don't control the money collecting. I don't control anything other than running the show itself. Well, that was a quick in and out storm. It got dark and very windy and very rainy for just a few minutes. Awesome, Matthew. Awesome. So you already have some sort of a lead on as to what happens and how it happens. Now you just need to get yourself involved. I do believe we may have a minor Class 6 double die here. It could be. I keep looking and see if I can see the telltale signs of Class 6 hub doubling, which I kind of do, but then I kind of don't. The storm is once again in our midst. So that was a little break in the front of the storm we had. No, this is not a double die. I kind of thought for a second that it might be, but it isn't. There's just not enough convex curvature at the outside edges of the lettering to convince me. And yes, this is it's a science of being convinced that something is good enough to be true, because if we look at a coin with a 100x microscope, we are going to see doubling on just about every coin. It's a matter of severity, not a matter of presence. There's one for Kimberly. And then sometimes I'll see something on a coin later in the roll and realize that we've probably passed by a half a dozen of them already. And that's what Eric catches when he goes back through the roll after I've finished it and mail them to him. It's a pretty good system we've got set up. It just takes time, because, well, all of this stuff takes time. It's not something we can just rattle out and do. Part of the problem with the timing on this is that I have so many things I try to keep done, try to get done and keep done, so that I can continue doing this and not have to have a job, because this is my living at this point. This is what I do. And the support from people just like you is how I keep everything floating and everything running and keep going on and on. I am not seeing anything in this roll. It's not unusual, but it's not encouraging nonetheless. Wow, it's really raining hard outside now. Buckets, buckets. There's one for Eric. Okay, now we've got heavy rain and heavy wind. You probably heard my thunder. If we lose power, I'm going to lose internet. So just let you know that we're in the middle of a pretty hefty storm. It shouldn't be all that big of a storm, I don't think. Let me see. Every time this happens, I want to check and see what's going on. I'll slide it over. As soon as I get it up, I'll slide it over in front of the microscope camera so you can see. It is 90 degrees with a thunderstorm. That's not encouraging. Let's see here. Okay, it's not really all that bad. It's kind of moving through the area. Wait a minute, stop that. There we go. I mean, it's ugly. We are right here where the top of my arrow is. So, that'll give you an idea of what's going on. So it will be through us in, 10 minutes, and it will be over. So that's a good thing. But until then, we've got to suffer the consequences of nasty weather. All right, so let's finish looking at Eric's coin here. And I'm done with that one. Down south is in the danger zone today. Well, here comes the dog. He has heard the weather. He does not like it, so he is now underneath me. And let's see. I'm not afraid of it, but I am leery about the idea that we may lose power during the middle of this. But maybe it will pass over us with no consequences. And it will help the ground outside. We've been having some dormancy of our grass, and I'm noticing the soybean fields and tobacco fields are looking a little peaked right now, in need of some moisture, and hopefully some of this moisture will retain and not just completely wash off the fields. When you get a whole lot of rain at once, it's no good. It's no bueno. The power loss right now would be a real pain, because power loss means loss of air conditioning. And right after a storm, it does cool off some, but we have been so hot here. Yesterday was 95 degrees or better. Okay, we're having some flickering issues. Keep moving. Don't stop. Whatever you do, don't stop. Here's Cap Morgan Dollar for you. And Cap Morgan Dollar looks like he's going to get a normal obverse. Let's see about that reverse. I don't want to skip over anything in the event or possibility that I might miss something, even though we've looked at more than half the roll at this point. I've probably seen all the different reverses in the roll. Give me just a second here. This is what I have on my knee down below me right now. I'm just sitting here going through this roll, and underneath my desk, my dog is laying his head on my knee because he's scared of the wind outside. So, the things dog parents have to deal with. He's not making a noise, hasn't done a single thing. He just went under there and laid his head on my knee, hoping that that might help him survive the deluge that's going on outside that he can see or feel. He can merely hear it, and that's enough. My poor child. Are you okay, Sherm? You doing okay, buddy? Everybody's laughing at you because you're a goofball. Yeah, you're a goofball. Mark? So our license plate meet was in a church, rather large church, somewhere near Frederick, Maryland, a little town called Mount Airy. And the gentleman who does security for the church unlocked the doors and let us in and helped with the trash at the end and all that. And I figured that, he must be from Maryland, right? Well, he started talking, and I could tell really fast that he was not from Maryland, because he was talking about a car and packing a car. It was very much from Massachusetts. So my Maryland experience was somewhat mishmashed with a Massachusetts accent. Yes, Mickey, your loop is sitting right in front of me on my desk, taking up precious space. I won't charge you rent until the beginning of tomorrow, so if you want to come today and get it, that would be perfectly fine with me. Oh, wait, you can't come up here today. Well, tomorrow begins rent on the space. Rent on the space is 50% of value of said item each day, compounded daily. The part that catches you is that I assign the value to the item, and this looks like a $300 or $400 loop. Oh, there's a way around everything, my friend. Okay, the dog has decided he is no longer fearing for his life, so he's come out from under the desk. He is now standing next to the desk, next to me, where he can move very quickly if he needs to back under the desk. Goofball dog. Well, hello, Matthew. Thank you very much for the super chat. They're nice BU coins. Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate it so much. On up now to coin number 35. About 16 coins away from the end of the roll. This one's for Jordan. Let's see what we get for Jordan. If I see anything here. That last one I zoomed in on a little bit because I thought I might be looking at a minor double die. It turned out to be nothing. So here's number 36. Now for Mickey. I have a gentleman who I met in St. Louis during the show a few weeks back, who has told me that he can help me with my splash screens, with my titling, with other things to do content for YouTube that will be content that will bring me ad revenue that will actually make a little bit of income. So I'm kind of excited about that idea, to be able to go in and make a nice little educational video and maybe continue that thought. And I know that YouTube has a membership, the capability of having membership on the channel. I may do that and make some member exclusive content. I have to see how that works out. Yeah, I know I've got a lot of irons in the fire. I'm just trying to make sure that what I do isn't too much of a plan for a person to handle. And I know I've got help from a number of directions. Well, you look at that. That had to have been a roll ender. It's got a lot of toning on it, but the toning is mostly a hazy brown color. It's on the other side. Same thing. Hazy brownish toning. Not a double dye. So I'm considering what can occur for members that would make enough people interested in joining as a member to make it worthwhile. And it needs to be monetarily worthwhile because it will cost time. Time is very valuable to me because I do not have a lot of it. Wish I had more than I do. I need a switch where I can turn time off for an hour every week. I gain so much out of having just one more hour every week. But anyway, I'm looking at possibilities to figure out what I can do. I need to talk with my gentleman from St. Louis area about that. He does it professionally, so I would need to pay him to help me come up with a good scheme that I can use to properly use my time to be able to turn this channel into something that more people want to see and more people will come to. It's great the way it is, but if I can do roughly the same amount of work for twice the people, then, well, that would be a great call on my part to do that. Because the more people I can educate with what I do, the better off we all are, and the better my life goes. Coin cards are not on hold. Coin cards are still in production, yet on a slightly farther back burner than the immediate task at hand, which is getting enough items put together and sold on my auctions to pay my bills for the month. Thank you, Captain Morgan Dollar. All right, here's one for Taco John. It looks like in this roll that we may not find anything of extra value. We may not find anything. However, I've turned rolls over to Eric before where he found a small double die reverse or something and found 8 or 10 of them in the roll, and I never even saw it coming through the first time. So we can always hope something like that could be the case. My problem in the past accepting help from anyone is that I was quite unsure what anybody could do away from my room and away from the daily, okay, that is machine doubling. I thought maybe I might be seeing a minor double die on the north of the date letters, but that's just not it. That's just machine doubling. But more and more now, I do believe that I have tasks that can be accomplished by someone somewhere else. And I may start asking for volunteers where I can start divvying out some of that manual labor, more or less, and have people help me out. Now, Eric and Mickey are both really good at being able to do ancillary tasks, you might say, if I ask either one of them to help out with something. They're most absolutely gracious with their time and effort in helping out. I don't have a lot of different things like that can be done. What Eric does requires photography knowledge. It takes a certain amount of expertise in having hunted the thousands of rolls that he's hunted and knows what to look for. And a certain amount of skill in organization to be able to keep everything organized and keep everything mailed as it needs to be mailed. His photography is very good, so I make sure that he gets a lot of the stuff that needs to be photographed, because I generally don't have much time for that, although sometimes I do make a little time for it. Still kind of dark outside, so hopefully the storm has rolled through, made its presence known, and is gone for good. Yep, dog's all piss and vinegar now downstairs, barking at Mama wanting her to play, and she has to work. So here is coin number 47. This one's going to Parvas. I haven't seen anything of premium value yet. Trust me, Mickey, we're going to have it upside down again when you come back. I basically got most of my summer and autumn inventory while I was gone on this trip to Missouri and Nebraska and all that, and it's quite a mess, quite a large mess. But you've seen the extent of what it is when you were here last week. You just haven't quite seen what I've done yet. Number 49, next to the last coin in the roll, and this one's for Sissy. And I have seen nothing in this roll yet. That required I stop and take notice. That includes this coin, so here we are. The last and final coin in the roll. Number 50 goes to Coins and Ghouls. That is Adam. And it's not really that pretty of a coin. So probably just another one of the many others that we have that had, well, nothing really on them. Okay. That's it for that. I will be back for number 556 here in, about 5-10 minutes, 10 minutes maybe. So stay tuned, come back, to that show. You'll find it in the channel list. And I'll talk to you folks in just a few minutes. Be well.